Good evening, I'm your host, Kenneth Stark, and tonight on NMN Namandria's #1 News Station, sweeping developments are reshaping the city's future, from energy to environment, housing to politics. We begin with Mayor Green's ambitious solar farm initiative, a landmark project set to more than double the city's energy output. The facility expected not only to power new infrastructure, but also to generate revenue through clean energy exports, positioning the city as a leader in sustainable innovation. Meanwhile, in Fox Ridge, construction has begun on Phase 3 of a massive residential and commercial expansion, a move that promises economic growth but has sparked controversy. Mayor Green's attempt to halt deforestation tied to the project fell short, with insiders hinting at interference from underground actors. Despite these setbacks, the mayor may have found a new ally in an unexpected place. The Eneida Bay Paper Company, a legacy paper factory once reliant on raw forest lumber, has pledged to end its extraction from the natural forests around Eneida Bay. In a joint effort with City Hall, the factory will transition to sustainable, self-sufficient lumber yards. The mayor has committed funding and land in the Northern District to support the shift, a significant win for conservation advocates. And finally, with the fourth mayoral race heating up, the first round of candidates has officially stepped forward. We'll introduce you to the contenders vying to shape the city's next chapter and examine where they stand on development, sustainability, and transparency. That and more tonight on NMN Namandria's #1 News Station. Heyo and welcome to Build and Beautify Season 2. In this City Skylines modded Let's Play, we'll build Eneida Bay, a vibrant city of our dreams featuring transit-oriented development, clean energy, and deep city detailing. In the last episode, Mayor Green brought some major upgrades to the city. We saw beautiful new green spaces added by expanding the greenbelt into the western parts of Fox Ridge. A dedicated tram line was introduced through the greenbelt, connecting key subway stations. On top of that, Fox Ridge saw a big growth with hundreds of new homes and brand new bus line to serve the area. So if you happen to miss that episode, then click on the info card above or check out the entire Build and Beautify Season 2 playlist located in the description below. In today's episode, we're rolling out the next of Mayor Green's clean energy initiatives with the launch of a brand new solar farm. We'll also kick off Phase 3 of the Fox Ridge expansion and tune into NMN Namandria's #1 News Station to meet the candidates in the upcoming 4th mayoral race. Plus, we're bringing your feedback to life. We'll be implementing some of the great suggestions you've left in the comments from previous episodes. So if you want to see how Eneida Bay evolves with your input, stick around until the end. So are you enjoying building Eneida Bay? If so, hit that like button, subscribe, share this video with a friend, and let me know in the comments what features you would build in your dream city. If you can't wait to see the new season unfold, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive perks, emojis, and early access to the videos. And don't miss out on our Eneida Bay merchandise linked in the description below. Alright, so I'm wicked excited to dig my fingers into today's episode. So kick back, grab your favorite beverage, and please enjoy. Welcome back to NMN Namandria's #1 News Station. In a bold stride toward a greener and more prosperous future, Mayor Green has officially unveiled plans for a state-of-the-art solar farm set to transform Eneida Bay's energy landscape. The new facility, projected more than double current electricity output, is poised not only to power future development, but also to generate significant export revenue by supplying clean energy throughout Namandria. Officials say the initiative marks a major step toward energy independence and economic growth, solidifying the city's role as a leader in sustainable innovation. Construction is set to begin later this year, with full operation expected by 2050. More to come in development here on NMN Namandria's #1 News Station after this short break. Today, we're jumping right into the construction of our new solar farm in the Old Harbor District. Now, we don't need the extra electricity just yet, but building this now helps future-proof Eneida Bay as it continues to grow, and any energy surplus will be exported across Namandria for profit. I'm planning to place 2 solar farm assets right here and decorate the area with some high industrial fencing, low bushes, because, we don't want to block the sun with the trees, some neat manicured grass, and probably a few other touches just to make it look polished. Honestly, I had a hard time finding solid inspiration for this build. Most of the solar farms near where I live are built on sloped hills, which really adds to their visual appeal. But for this to function properly in-game, we need flat terrain, as I don't know how to plop an asset at an angle. So I'll be leaning on my usual decoration tricks, and I might even reroute some of the high voltage wires to help enhance the area visually. I'm also thinking about adding a low-rise office building to serve as the headquarters for the energy company. So, if you've got a name idea for that energy company, drop it down in the comments. I'd love to feature some of the suggestions. Welcome back to NMN, Mandria's #1 news station. I'm your host, Kenna Stark. Phase 3 of Fox Ridge development is officially underway, ushering in a massive wave of residential expansion and new commercial storefronts, the largest of its kind in recent city history. But while the promise of growth dominates headlines, controversy brews beneath the surface. Mayor Green has pushed to reduce funding in an effort to protect remaining forested areas, warning of long-term environmental consequences. However, despite these efforts, the project moved forward, fully funded and largely unopposed. Sources suggest the mayor's attempts to spotlight the environmental impact were quietly suppressed, with whispers pointing to interference by groups operating outside official channels. As the city moves ahead, questions remain about who truly controls the narrative behind Fox Ridge. After this short break, we'll tune into tonight's special coverage where we will meet the candidates for the 4th mayoral race here on NMN, Namandria's #1 news station. Now let's move on to Phase 3 of Fox Ridge with a major zoning expansion. I'll be breaking this into 3 chunks, starting with low-rise commercial areas right here, here, and here, using the Plop the Growable mods along with Anarchy and Move It to fine-tune the layout. For the vibe, I'm thinking something similar to what we built in Syracuse, strip malls and development sites using those Southwest USA commercial assets. I really love how those low-density commercial and residential styles look together, and repeating these styles will help tie Fox Ridge and the downtown area back into Eneida Bay. I'll also carve out a couple of green spaces here, and maybe take this small sort of roundabout area and create a space inspired by what I tried back in Pine Grove in Pine Harbor County. The goal is to create a highly walkable area, kind of a test drive for an idea I've been stewing on for the downtown district. So yeah, expect to see some hedges, pathways, trees, gazebos, that kind of cozy, livable feel. Next up, we're continuing to taper building height in this area by focusing on row housing along the main connector roads. I'm using the row homes from the Northeast Content Creator Pack for two key reasons. Each of these homes can hold 4 to 6 families, so it makes sense to place them along the larger roads where the higher density is more appropriate and aesthetic fit. These homes are a bit shorter than the vanilla North American assets, which better suits the scale and feel for this neighborhood. We might even add in some street parking or back alley access for a bit more realism. Later on, as we shift back into the downtown core, I'll switch over to the taller North American row homes. So for now, we'll start by drawing in the row homes along this dark green section right here. Then we'll regroup and keep filling in more residential zones with some smaller height. Finally, let's move on to some single-family homes, and for this part, we're actually not going to use any mods. I want this area to feel a bit more organic and less perfectly planned, so we're going full vanilla with the zoning tool to lay down a large patch of North American-style single-family homes. I've found that when I manually plop a bunch of these houses, things can kind of start to get a little too generic, sterile, not quite sure what I want to call it, but way too clean. Definitely too clean. And while I want that classic suburban look with some repetition, the vanilla zoning tool strikes a nice balance between the uniformity and variety. I'm also really curious to see how this affects our demand bar. Ever since we built Syracuse, honestly, low density residential demand has been all over the place, spiking, dropping, and repeating. So, by letting the game fill in this area at its own pace instead of forcing the development with mods, we might get a better sense of how the city naturally responds. Welcome back to NMN, Namandria's #1 news station. I'm your host, Kenna Stark, tuning in to provide you the latest special report. The race for the city's 4th mayoral seat is heating up, and tonight we take a closer look at the contenders vying for the top job. First on the ballot, former Mayor Lucas Fox. A familiar face in local politics, Fox is best known for spearheading a wave of ambitious development projects that transformed the downtown skyline during his previous term. From high-rise commercial hubs to revitalized public spaces, his tenure left a visible mark on the cityscape, but also drew criticism over funding. Now, Fox is back, promising to finishing what he started. Will his legacy of bold expansion win voters over once again? Next up for the race for mayor, George Marble, a name that became synonymous with persistence and passion for local tourism. Marble has long championed a vision of economic revival through transforming Eneida Bay into a bustling hub of travel, recreation, and small business. Despite falling short in previous elections, Marble has remained undeterred, believing his plan is the key to unlocking long-term prosperity for the region. Now with the surge of post-election support and growing momentum among coastal residents, Marble is confident that this is his moment. Will his unwavering focus on tourism finally resonate with the voters? The race is far from over, and the stakes have never been higher. Rounding out the list of candidates is newcomer Elizabeth Wallace, known to most locals simply as Betty. A retired member of one of the largest accounting firms in Eneida Bay, Wallace is stepping into the political spotlight with a clear mission: to restore fiscal responsibility and tackle what she calls the city's atrocious budget. With decades of experience navigating complex financial systems, Wallace believes she can bring balance back to the books while laying the groundwork for lasting economic growth. Though new to campaigning, her no-nonsense approach and deep ties to the community have quickly earned her a loyal following. Can this first-time candidate shake up City Hall? Voters will soon decide. Our final candidate needs no introduction. Incumbent Mayor Oliver Green is seeking re-election, running on a platform of sustainability and long-term impact. Green made headlines during his term for launching a series of ambitious eco-friendly initiatives, including the Oliver Green Hydro Dam, a sprawling solar farm, and the city's now celebrated Greenbelt system. Supporters credit him with pushing the city towards a cleaner, more resilient future, while critics question the cost and the pace of these green transitions. Still, Mayor Green remains confident that his environmental legacy and the city's growing recognition as a model for sustainable urban planning will secure him another term. 4 candidates, 1 city, and your voice matters. Who will become the 4th mayor of Eneida Bay? Will it be the visionary developer Lucas Fox, the tireless tourism advocate George Marble, the budget-balancing newcomer Betty Wallace, or the successful current office holder Mayor Oliver Green? Now it's your turn to decide. Head over to the community tab on our YouTube channel and cast your vote today. Your input shapes the future of Eneida Bay, so make sure it counts. Welcome back to NMN, Nemandria's #1 news station. I'm your host, Kenna Stark. In the wake of the contentious Phase 3 Fox Ridge expansion, which saw Mayor Green's effort to curb deforestation quietly undermined, a surprising ally has stepped forward. The long-standing paper factory in Millyard No.1 has announced it will permanently cease lumber extraction from the natural forests surrounding Eneida Bay. Instead, the factory will transition to sustainable, self-contained lumbering operations through a series of controlled, eco-engineered lumber yards. Elated by this unexpected preservation victory, Mayor Green has pledged additional city funding to support the transition and has allocated land in the northern region for the project. Officials say the partnership marks a turning point, a sign that even in the face of unchecked development, environmental progress can still take root. That is it for the evening news. I've been your host, Kenna Stark, and thank you for tuning in to NMN Nemandria's #1 news station. Our final build today comes from a viewer suggestion made a few episodes ago by Jared. So yeah, shout out to Jared. I think it was back in episode 28 and now feels like the perfect time to finally bring this to life. We're going to build a self-sustaining forestry area anchored by the Eneida Bay Paper Company located in Millyard No.1. The plan is to design it with 3 to 4 different types of trees laid out using the line tool and then bring it all to life with the forestry specialized industry. We'll also add a few industry buildings to process the timber into paper products and hopefully even some electronics, since we've got a huge demand for those right now in Eneida Bay. We'll start by drawing rows of trees with the line tool and then zone the area in with forestry industry to create a man-made production site. To finish it off, I'll sprinkle in a few low-rise office buildings and just a handful of industrial buildings. I want to avoid heavy pollution here and keep the area relatively clean. Alrighty, everyone, I think that just about wraps up today's episode. So, if you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on today's build. If you're excited to see the next episode unfold, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive perks, emojis, and early access to the videos. And don't forget to check out our Eneida Bay merchandise linked in the description below. Until next time, I hope everyone has a phenomenal week.